I was born in Essex. I have been a girl and woman of Essex for a very long time. And one of the things that started to get me thinking more about the Essex girl was when I was in education. I was working in education, and a lot of my students started to tell me that they were coming back from interviews for university places. And one of the things that the interviewers would say when they sat down was, "Oh, I see you're an Essex girl, are you?" And I was really quite staggered by this, because what it does, I mean, the fact that it's still going, but also the other thing is that this automatically, though people don't realise it, it automatically puts the girls on the back foot, because they are going for an interview, they want to get into that place, so they have the option of going, ha ha ha, yes, you know, and then reinforcing the stereotype. Or they go, actually, no, I'm not an Essex girl. I mean, what are you trying to say by that? Why are you putting a stereotype? In which case, they're being immediately provocative and they want to get into this place. So it kind of set them at a disadvantage. And I started thinking, why should they be on the back foot at a disadvantage just because they're from Essex? It's not really fair. And I started looking at the Essex girl and writing a series of articles about it for a magazine that I was running at the time called Level 4. And as I started developing these articles, I started talking to an artist who was a friend of mine called Heidi Wigmore. And we both had these conversations about the Essex girl, and started thinking, you know, the Essex girl was very much an 80s concept. It came out, I think, about 1984, if I'm right. I'm not sure I am. But, you know, and the associations with the Essex girl are very 80s. And we started thinking, do you know what? If you get beyond the negative knee-jerk, the judgment, and you start looking at the Essex girl, there's quite a lot to celebrate about her. And anyway, a lot of the attitude to the Essex girl is very 80s. So the idea that she is sexually promiscuous, you know, this is a very 80s concept. Why is she promiscuous? Why is she not sexually liberated? Why is she not autonomous? She's very confident. She goes out to bars. She works hard for a living. She plays hard, just like the boys, you know, and she's very sassy. She's out there. And we started saying there's a lot that can be commended about the Essex girl, actually. I was doing a lot of research onto witches, and I found out the statistic that you will hear in my book later when I do my reading about Essex, which is just about the huge number of women who were lost, and some men, not as many as women, but the huge number of people who were lost to the witch hunts in Essex. And it's quite staggering when you find out, and I didn't know about it, and I'm a feminist and I'm into witches because they're much cooler than fairies and things like that, and princesses who are really boring and passive, and witches are like cool and active, and they wear black, and you can't go wrong with basic black anyway. Much more interesting. And I just thought, God, I didn't know about this. This is amazing. So I started looking into it, and I found out so much about it. Not just the injustice, but I started to see, when I looked at the characters, the witches, I started to say, this is quite interesting. A lot of them are lower class. A lot of them, when they went to court, they weren't able to talk. So they weren't able to answer the charges. They had to have a man speak for them. So they were legally dumb, and they were also at that time deemed loose, which was the term that meant they weren't under the protection or the shelter or control of a man. So as I continued researching, I started to think, okay, low end of the social scale, dumb and loose. Hang on, there's another stereotype I know that also fits this. And I started looking at Essex witches, and I started looking at the Essex girl, and I just thought, you know what? I wonder if they're linked. And really, this book is the kind of the convergence of my thoughts about the matter. And it can never be proved, but I do think that the Essex girls' roots, unbleached, do go back to the witch hunts.